One night in Austin, envy pressed enter, and 3 words on Facebook destroyed 2 lives. Facebook stalking. The night in Austin was humid and quiet. The air conditioner rattled, but it didn't help. Amanda sat at her old laptop scrolling through her Facebook feed. Cakes, dogs, kids on swings flashed by. All of it felt the same noise, but her eyes kept returning to one page. Beth Henderson, the one from school. Now she had a husband, 2 kids, a house with a garden and neat paths around it. In the photos, the smiles were wide and white, like samples in a store window. Amanda stared and felt heaviness in her chest, as if her life was stuck in a supermarket parking lot with the hazard lights flashing. She clicked Create New Account, email, password, avatar. In a rush, she uploaded the first photo she found, a woman with a flawless smile, clearly from a dental clinic brochure. Square jaw, perfect teeth, happiness by default. "Well, now you're happy too, Mrs. Smile," Amanda muttered at the screen. The profile came to life. In the comment box under Beth's photo, the cursor blinked like a tiny traffic light. She typed, "She's cheating on her husband. Ask the neighbors." No emojis, no punctuation, no decorations. She paused and listened. The apartment was quiet. The fridge hummed in the corner. A window frame creaked. Then Amanda pressed enter. The comment appeared instantly. Dry letters, plain font, no drama. In the picture, Beth and her husband kept smiling the same identical smiles. The screen hadn't changed at all, but the room suddenly felt empty. Amanda closed the laptop, got up, poured herself water from the tap. The metallic taste killed the thirst. She went back, opened the lid again. The words were still there. 1 like already. A kitten avatar. Outside, a police car's lights flashed briefly. Red and blue swept across the wall and vanished. Breathing got a little harder, though nothing had happened. She laid her hand on the touchpad, then pulled it back. It looked like nothing, just 1 line of text. But that nothing was now online, and the net preserves trifles better than people. The water in the glass stayed half full, as if it had changed its mind, too. Morning at the Hendersons looked normal. The smell of toast, the kettle boiling, backpacks by the door. The kids argued over who got the orange marker for their project. The school had announced a craft contest, and the space theme energized the kitchen more than coffee. Daniel lingered at the table. He chewed his toast longer than usual, as if testing the flavor, though the bread was the same. On his phone, the comment hovered, "She's cheating on her husband. Ask the neighbors." He scrolled past, then back, rereading. The screen gave no answers. "Dad, a rocket will have lights," said his son. "Real ones, on batteries." "My giraffe will have a scarf, real wool." Beth set down an omelet and noticed Daniel hardly looked up. His replies were short, as if conserving words. The kids buried themselves in notebooks, and she saw a new habit on his face. Before answering, he glanced aside, as though checking with something invisible. During the day, Beth worked from home. Emails, a call, a shopping list, everything stacked as usual, but a gap had opened inside. By dinner, it was clear. "Something wrong?" Beth asked. "No, just thinking." "About what?" "The neighbors." She nodded. They ate in silence. The fork scraped the plate, the kettle clicked. The kids argued about whose project would win first place. Their excitement couldn't fill the emptiness in the middle of the table. Later, Beth sat at her laptop. She opened the page and reread the comment. The fake profile looked flimsy. Stolen photo, 2 friends, 0 history. But the tone felt familiar, like the smell of a school gym. She remembered Amanda lurking by the wall, sidelong glances, stray remarks that always hit. Beth closed the laptop, but the screen's light stayed in her eyes. In bed, she reached for Daniel, but he was already asleep at the edge. At night, she woke when her phone vibrated on the nightstand. No news. The blank screen glowed like a nightlight. Late night. On Beth's kitchen table, half-finished tea, a cold screen, silence. She created a new profile. Random name, a woman with glasses for the avatar, a couple neutral posts to avoid suspicion. The first comment was cautious, like a tentacle in the dark. Then another. The net picked up the movement. An hour later, one of her accounts accidentally posted on her own page. I always knew Beth wasn't so holy. Her stomach dropped. She hit delete, refreshed, checked history, brushed crumbs off the table as if that would help. No one should see. Meanwhile, the net tightened around Amanda. First, strange looks at the office, then whispers by the printer. By noon, a call from the boss's office. Is it true? What? That you stole 3 staplers? Come in. The line clicked. Amanda stared at her hands as if they could explain where that story came from. She didn't back down. She made 2 more accounts. One, neighbor of the Hendersons. One, classmate. In the evening, she added a third, anonymous mom from the PTA. They wrote in different voices but repeated the same tune. Beth's life isn't so perfect. Likes appeared on their pages by themselves. Sometimes it seemed the profiles lived on their own, liking each other, subscribing, sharing posts. The next staged a crowd out of 3 people. Daniel scrolled in silence. His quiet became constant. The kids noticed he slept in the living room and thought it was a game. They brought a rocket blanket in their pillows. Beth opened her phone and saw new notifications faster than she could hide them. She told herself it was defense. In the morning, she thought she could stop if she just quit posting. By evening, she was creating another profile. Boundaries blurred, pages multiplied, and no one remembered where it all began. Beth listened to the kitchen silence and realized silence was part of it too. The internet ended where receipts began. Amanda hired a private detective first. A man in a wrinkled suit came to a cafe with a folder smelling of toner. "Here, look, taken outside her house," he said. Amanda opened the report and stared at a blurry photo of a squirrel with a nut. "And this is?" Suspicious face, looked like it was watching. "At night, that's a squirrel. At night, all faces are suspicious." She paid cash and felt her wallet lighter than his reasoning. Next week, the detective sent a bigger bill. At the bottom, extra visit. Beth's finances collapsed just as fast. A lawyer with perfectly styled hair spread a budget on the table. "But that's a month's salary," she said. "To prove the truth, you need to invest. And also this," he added another sheet. The total exceeded her yearly income. She wired the money, though her hands resisted pressing send. In a shorter meeting, the lawyer made it clearer. "Do you have evidence?" "No, but neither does she." "Excellent. Then we can go to court." Home scenes lost their footing. Collectors began calling Amanda. Sticky notes with due dates covered her fridge.
Letters demanding appearance filled her mailbox. Beth's kitchen was filled with the scrape of a knife on a cutting board instead of talk. Daniel ate silently and slept apart. The kids built a rocket out of cardboard tubes and asked if they could glue glitter on it since Dad didn't care anyway. The police filed complaints and opened a case. The language was neutral. Anonymous accounts, multiple posts, possible defamation. Dry papers amplified the absurdity. Money drained like water from an open tap, and no one closed the valve. Each was sure one more week and the other would give in. Weeks multiplied, evidence did not. Only folders, invoices, and the squirrel photo neatly filed. On the bottom of the receipt, strategy consultation. But no more strategy remained.
At the station, the case lay on the desk like a brick. Thick folder, gray spine, label, harassment case. Detective Martinez placed a vending machine coffee beside it. His partner flipped the first pages and snorted. All this over a comment? Yeah, the internet. The scariest neighborhood of our time, Martinez said without looking up. Interrogations alternated. Amanda repeated, "She started it." Beth said the same. Onto the table went flash drives, printouts, phones with screenshots. One flash drive Amanda handed over solemnly. "It's all there." The officer opened it. Recordings of cooking shows, lists of chicken recipes. He nodded, logged it without comment. The protocols were dull. Date, time, link, character count. No words like shadows, nightmares, trauma. Paper refused to sympathize, only recorded. Martinez marked pages with yellow tabs, sometimes scribbled a question mark. Too many question marks. They sent requests to the social networks. 2 weeks later, the data arrived as spreadsheets. Columns all the same. Post ID, account ID, timestamp. Sometimes posts appeared in the same minute from opposite sides, as if both women camped at keyboards or someone egged them on with a timer. The partner tapped his pen. "Don't you think this is punishment already?" "Seems so, but we'll get the bill." In the hallway, someone complained about a stolen bike. Somewhere else, a fight over a parking spot. Against that, the comment case looked both heavy and light. Many papers, little content, but resources flowed here. At home, both women kept collecting evidence. Amanda scrolled to the end, took screenshots, printed on her black and white printer. Beth filed pages in clear sleeves, marked dates in marker. At night, both woke and checked phones. No news. Notifications stayed silent, as if the net took a day off. At the end of his shift, Martinez closed the folder and told his partner, "If we cut their internet for a week, it'd be quiet." "A week won't work," the partner said. "We've got one Wi-Fi for the whole station." Both chuckled softly. He turned off the lamp, but the folder stayed. Heavy, immovable. The case wasn't complicated. It just never ended.
The courtroom looked the same as always. Gray walls, long benches, vending machine coffee with the same smell in every case. The clerk read the list. The judge flipped pages without changing expression. Case number 4738, Beth Henderson, also known as Beef Henderson. He read without pause. Nobody laughed. The clerk adjusted glasses and marked the line. Folders covered the entire table. Flash drives lay in a plastic container like irrelevant samples. Lawyers exchanged nods. This procedure was their home turf. "Do you have anything to say?" the judge asked Amanda. "No." "You." He turned to Beth. "No." Silence. A clatter of paper clips in the hallway. The judge turned a page, looked up the clerk. "Mark it. Restraining orders, no contact, compensation, as in the budgets provided, social services oversight," he said, as if reciting an agenda item. He glanced at the stack of papers and added dryly, "I note this case is larger than the one we had on car theft, and it's about internet comments." The room went silent like a library. Nobody objected. Amanda stared at the floor. Before her stood the luggage she didn't own yet and debts she already did. Beth gripped her knees so tightly her fingers turned white. Daniel didn't come. His absence was louder than any words. The clerk handed the judge the last folder. He nodded, closed. Afterward, the corridor quickly swallowed them both. Amanda stopped at the parking ticket machine. The coins jammed. She tapped the slot and walked off on foot. Beth lingered at the glass door and looked at her reflection. The reflection said nothing. The city hummed with its usual day. Their case had become sheets of paper soon to be filed away. Inside remained silence, like a dead phone nobody planned to charge.
Amanda sat in her new apartment, which looked more like storage. Suitcases lined the wall, furniture was just a mattress and an old table. The internet only came on the third day, and now the laptop was her only window to the world. She opened it and saw a perfectly empty screen. No notifications, no messages, no new post icons. Profile deleted, chats gone, contacts severed. The cursor blinked in the box, a reminder that she could write something. There was no one to write to. Beth lived in a house that no longer felt like home. The kids' room stayed shut, beds made, toys neatly arranged like museum exhibits. She sat at the kitchen table, opened her phone, and scrolled out of habit. Other people's lives went on. New vacation photos, wedding cakes, dogs and costumes. All bright, all equally useless. Her page no longer existed and no one seemed to notice. One evening, both saw the same news. Facebook removes comment section to fight toxicity. The headline looked random, almost a joke. Now nothing could be posted there. Too late. For them, the change was like a sign on a door long nailed shut. Amanda closed her laptop and lay on the mattress, staring at the ceiling. Upstairs, a neighbor moved a chair. Beth sat in her car outside the school, watching other parents pick up kids. The engine cooled, the air smelled like ocean breeze freshener, though there was no ocean. She didn't get out. She watched until the parking lot light turned cold. Amanda's screen lit up again. The cursor blinked in the empty field, while an ad popped up, "Find friends nearby." She looked at it and smirked. This time she didn't feel like typing. Outside, someone turned on music. The cursor kept blinking, as if it had a plan. The browser offered to save the password for an empty profile. She clicked never. Beth's phone buzzed with a PTA email about a bake sale. The message opened automatically, then closed again. The day ended, like many others, without events and with the sense that everything important had already happened somewhere else.